me, Jessie, and today we're going to talk about ankle mobility and building flexibility in our feet and ankles. So it's a very, very important topic, and I think it will apply to everybody, whether you are an athlete that likes to run or cycle, a bodybuilder, or even an office worker, female in particular who likes to wear heels, or if you like to go partying and wear heels all the time. This is very important. You can see why your feet are actually a very important part of your body. You walk and stand on them all the time. We're always wearing shoes, we're always wearing socks, and you get a lot of compression and restriction. So it's very important to practice a little bit of activity in barefoot, such as yoga. So by stretching out your ankles and your calves as well, it can translate to stronger, more flexible feet. So the number one stretch for ankle mobility is malasana, or garland pose. This is a deep, deep squat, bottom of a goblet squat, and just basically the primal way we used to go to the bathroom, or how some of us used to eat, our ancestors used to eat. Now given, I know sometimes it's a genetic thing, sometimes it can be an injury thing, and not everybody is capable of drawing their heels towards the floor, but just practicing this pose and just aiming to get those heels down is a good progression for you. So I did get a lot of questions about ankle mobility. You like to run, you like to cycle, especially if you're very active. So you really want to build up mobility around the ankles to prevent injury and to increase your range of motion so you can squat heavier, so you can get a little bit more comfortable in this position. And it's very helpful too if you clean the house, pick up toys, do gardening. It's much more comfortable and safer for your back to be in a position like this to do your stuff, as opposed to hunching over and always kneeling and slouching. Okay, so this isn't going to be too long of a video. It's just to trying to build your ankle mobility in your malasana, and another ankle stretch after that. So really, in your malasana, you want to start off standing, probably the easiest way. And then you're going to take your feet up nice and wide. I like to gauge my yoga mat. If you don't have a yoga mat right there with you, maybe a little bit wider than your hips. You want to turn the toes out a little bit. If you're familiar with the goblet squat, it's very similar. And you want to make sure the knees are tracking over the toes so they face the same direction as your toes. That'll prevent injury. So in other words, don't do this. Okay? So just face you here. And then you can slowly start to lower it down depending on how your mobility is. It also builds a lot of hip mobility. And when you have that hip mobility, I talked about it before, it will help with releasing lower back tension and pain. Now, if you are unable to get all the way down, I use my trusty yoga block. You can use a pillow, blankets, bunch of textbooks, maybe a mini stool, depending on how restricted you feel that day. And you can sit on a block and just try to lean a bit of your weight forward a bit so you're not actually sitting here like it's a chair, because this doesn't really build ankle mobility. You're just kind of hanging out here. So I know it's a bit crude. It's a bit of a crude point of view when I'm facing you that way, so I'll sit this way just so you can kind of see. So you really want to try to keep the feet closer to you. And different widths help. I mean, if your ankles are a little bit more open, you can sit a little bit closer in and then wedge your weight out. You want to wedge your body in between your thighs for your malasana and push your triceps into the thighs and vice versa. So also tone the inner thighs. Lots of benefits to this pose here. And it also stimulates digestion for obvious reasons, like you're kind of just dumping yourself here, but at the same time, don't literally dump yourself here and just drop into the pose. Still lengthen the spine, and then from here, there are many different variations. You can fold forward, get a little bit deeper. If your goal is to do certain yoga poses, such as like behind the head, this is very helpful. Poses like firefly and things like that, but we'll save that for another time. So this will help build ankle mobility. As you can see, it is a lot of tension and pressure in the outer part of the shin and the ankles. And if you're a little bit tighter, it might be a little bit harder, so you need to come up onto your toes. Another option you can have is, if you have mobility in the hips and you're able to get down, is to place something underneath your heels and just sit here for now. And then eventually one day, you can move it further and further away until you don't need it anymore. So this is one way to stretch out your ankles. Another way is to come into hero pose, Virasana. Have a seat on your shins, on your legs, or your calves, I should say. And tuck your toes, flatten out the tops of your feet so it's completely flat here. If that is really, really uncomfortable, Then you can start off here. And you can see that it still stretches out the feet, it still stretches out the ankles. Eventually making your way down here. And it also stretches your thighs a little bit. And then from here, if you're still looking for a deeper stretch, you're going to lean back and lift the knees and the shins off the floor. You can place your hands anywhere where you're comfortable. So reclining hero pose. You're going to feel a big stretch right in the tops of the ankles. And you can play around with the pose. I mean, depending on where your mobility is, you can wiggle out the ankles and maybe just do one leg at a time. One ankle at a time. Okay, so I like to alternate between this and also broken toe pose. It's not as bad as it sounds, but it's similar to when you crack your fingers. You're going to tuck your toes underneath and sit back. Come right onto the balls of your feet. So it's just like cracking your fingers. Now you're cracking your knuckles of your toes. Cracking your knuckles, I should say, sorry, not fingers. Spread the toes apart. See if you can actually keep your feet and legs together. And you can place your hands on the floor. Just like to have them rest comfortably on the floor there. Just notice your posture. None of this. Okay? Keep yourself upright. And just get a nice stretch in the foot. So as you can see, your ankles and feet are very, very important. Any sort of plantar fasciitis, heel pain, toes just being stuck together. I've had clients where their toes were kind of like this, one toe on top of the other, but with more frequent practice of yoga, now they're able to spread them apart. It's almost like you're getting a permanent pedicure and you've got something stuck in between your toes, your yogi toes. Don't be shy, spread them apart. And wearing heels is very pretty, makes your feet look nice and pretty. But if you want to keep that up, you'll have to do some maintenance. When you wear heels, your ankles get shorter, and that's what also causes tightness. It can cause knee pain as well, and then there's just a whole snowball effect for the rest of your body. So those are some of my favorite stretches for the ankles. It may be painful at first, but like anything else, it gets better over time. And yeah, it just gets a little bit easier, and sooner or later you just kind of plop yourself into posture and it just becomes natural. If you have any questions, please let me know and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Namaste.
Hi everyone, it's me Jessie. I hope you found this video helpful. Please like, comment, and share it. And you can follow me on Instagram at LamJessFit. And you can also download my free newsletter to get free menu plans, workouts, and stretches at my website, www.jessielamfitness.com. I'll see you in the next video.